Real life stories with Liam Johnson. Subscribe and leave a like.
Anna had been preparing for her daughter Lena's birthday since early morning. The party room was drowning in pink hues. Balloons filled it from floor to ceiling, creating floral compositions and figures of cartoon heroes. Lena will be so delighted when she sees this. She herself baked a cake with chocolate and bananas, exactly the kind the birthday girl loved most. The layers were already thoroughly soaked. All that remained was to decorate it and place the number 8 candle on top. She took this candle in her hands and sat down on a chair, lost in thought. In reality, Lena had turned 8 almost a year ago. There were many guests and gifts then, but today's celebration was just for the family. Such an important day for everyone, yet so personal that they didn't want to share it with anyone. It was on this very day that Roman brought home a little bundle of happiness, their daughter Lena. She could already sit up on her own and tried to speak, and when someone picked her up, she smiled so openly and brightly like a little sun. Only close friends and relatives knew that the Gurin's eldest child was adopted, but they never hid it from Lena and celebrated 2 birthdays to show how much they loved her. By the time they decided on adoption, she and Roman had completely despaired of having a child. For 5 years, they went to doctors, but no one could name the true reason why pregnancy never occurred. She begged the doctors to cure her, but they all insisted that the woman was completely healthy and there could be no talk of infertility. Her husband turned out to be healthy too. After long waits, the family made a difficult decision. Time passed, but there were still no children, so they decided to take a girl from the orphanage. If God doesn't give us children, there must be a reason. Apparently, we don't deserve such happiness, she cried for the umpteenth time, clutching a negative pregnancy test in her hand. Her husband hugged her, tried to calm her, but he himself was very upset too. Then he himself suggested this way out. There are so many children in the world who have been abandoned, left without parental love. At first, she doubted whether they could love someone else's child as their own, but when she saw Lena's smile, all her doubts immediately vanished. While they were processing the documents, another couple of months passed. The young parents had already prepared everything to welcome the baby and couldn't wait to bring her home. And when it finally happened, they promised each other that they would celebrate this day every year as their daughter's 2nd birthday. The next morning, she felt unwell right away.
From the start, her head was spinning and she felt nauseous. She decided it was from excitement, but the next morning the nausea repeated. She didn't believe in such miracles, but decided to check anyway. This time the test showed 2 lines, and 7 months later she gave birth to a boy. They named their son Sasha, and now the Gurin family had, as they say, the full set. A girl, Lena, and a boy, Sasha. What more is needed for happiness? Just live and enjoy. Roman now had to stay late at work more often. The family was large, he had to build his business from scratch. Therefore, she took all the household and child-rearing duties upon herself. She never complained about fatigue, understanding that no matter how hard it was for her, it was probably even harder for her husband. She supported Roman in everything, helped him cope with doubts on the path to success. His wife's support greatly helped the young entrepreneur, and soon his firm began to bring in good income. She said nothing to her husband when he came home late. She understood that it was impossible to build a profitable business any other way. Although she often lacked his help and support, from fatigue, she sometimes cried when the children were already asleep and couldn't see her tears. In front of the children, she always tried to be cheerful and full of energy, so they would grow up happy and worry-free. Today's celebration was supposed to be special. As the family hadn't gathered together for a long time, there was always no time. She wrote to her husband in advance to try to come home early. He didn't reply to the message, probably very busy, but of course he would come. The children were waiting, he couldn't let them down. But several hours had passed from the time set for the celebration, yet the children were still waiting for Dad. She tried to cheer them up, but she wasn't doing very well at it, as her heart was heavy. Her husband wasn't answering calls. She called him several times. Finally, she decided not to wait any longer, brought out the cake, and lit the candle, congratulating her daughter on her birthday. It was clear that Lena was upset, but tried not to show it. She and Sasha ate a piece of cake each and went to their rooms in a bad mood. The cake was very tasty. She had tried hard when baking it, but the absence of Dad on such a day upset everyone. Roman came late at night, trying to slip unnoticed into the room and not disturb anyone. but his wife was waiting for him in the kitchen, sitting pretending to read a book, though the letters blurred before her eyes. "You're late today," she said, trying to speak as calmly as possible, though a storm was raging in her soul and salty tears were about to pour like rain. "Don't start, I'm too tired," her husband replied, and went to the room. She followed him, trying to start the conversation again, but Roman wouldn't engage. Only now did she notice that her husband smelled of cognac and something else foreign, strange. "Were you drinking?" she asked, in no longer such a calm voice.
Drink, so what? Can't I have a drink with colleagues at the end of the workday? We closed a good deal today, decided to celebrate. What's wrong with that? Nothing in principle, but your daughter had an important day today. She was waiting for you to come. I baked a cake, the children wanted a celebration, but without you it wasn't fun, she told him, and tears welled up in her eyes. But it's not her birthday. It's a made-up holiday, not real. Why are you blaming me for not making it? After these words, it became hard to breathe. She wanted to burst into tears. How could he say that? He knew how important this day was for the whole family. The woman returned to the kitchen and sat there half the night, recalling what her relationship with her husband had been like before he immersed himself completely in work. She felt sad and offended. She wanted to argue, to say everything that had accumulated over many years, but she didn't want to disturb the children who were already peacefully sleeping in their beds. In the morning, when the alcohol's effect wore off and only a hangover and heavy memories remained, Roman realized he had been wrong. He apologized to his wife, said that on the nearest weekend he would definitely take the whole family to a restaurant. "So we'll have even more celebrations, isn't that wonderful?" he said cheerfully, and although she continued to be offended by his words, she agreed for the children's sake. Not only this incident was the cause of offenses, Roman was increasingly distancing himself from the family, and she couldn't help but notice it. He seemed constantly somewhere far away, immersed in his thoughts. Of course, it's understandable when you manage a large company, you have to constantly solve many parallel issues. But if before Roman consulted with his wife about work problems and trusted her opinion, now to all her questions he answered, "Everything's fine," and shared nothing more. Likewise, he himself wasn't interested in his wife's life, and even seemed indifferent to what was happening with the children. When she told him about their problems, Roman listened half-heartedly, immersed in his thoughts. And then the day came when the whole family was supposed to go to the restaurant to repeat the failed celebration. She and the children had already arrived at the place, but Roman was late. Even though it was a weekend, he still had to go to work. Promised to finish early, he even reserved a table at the restaurant. When the waiter approached for the second time, asking what they would order, Anna's phone rang. "Honey, I won't be able to come. They can't sort things out at work without me. I'll have to stay until evening," Roman said. It seemed he was upset, but couldn't do anything about it. She listened to her husband silently. She was disappointed, but decided to make a celebration for the children even without Dad again. Roman came home late in the evening, which had already become a habit for him. His wife was waiting for him to say everything she thought. She was tired of silence and pretending everything was fine. She reproached him for letting the whole family down for the second time. "And how do you think I should earn money? I'm terribly tired at work so that you and the children have everything. Why can't I at least relax at home and rest without moralizing? Isn't the money enough for you?"
How deeply he was offending her feelings. After these words that wounded her right in the heart, Roman went to the bathroom, leaving his wife in tears, and loudly slammed the door. She sat there a little longer, trying to compose herself, and then decided to take her husband's things and put them in the laundry. The shirt smelled strange, like perfume, but Roman definitely didn't have such, and neither did she. She rarely used perfumes because of allergies. Bad thoughts began to come to her mind, one worse than the other, and she didn't know what to do with them. She tried to convince herself that it just seemed that way to her. It was at that moment, when the woman had almost diagnosed herself with paranoia, that her husband's phone rang. A message came, and it wasn't the first message that came so late. She had noticed before how her husband, after such calls, went to the bathroom. She always thought it was work correspondence, or maybe wanted to think so. She had never thought before about looking into someone else's phone. She respected her husband's personal space, but now she couldn't hold back. She decided enough living with closed eyes. When she opened the received message, the entire conversation opened up right away. Some secretary wrote, "Did you get home, darling? I hope we'll meet tomorrow too." I already miss you. We'll see each other at work and not only there." There were many more flirtatious words both from this girl and from her husband. It was disgusting to read all this. She closed the conversation and threw the phone on the nightstand. It almost broke. She felt like the ground was slipping from under her feet. They had gone through so much good and bad with her husband hand in hand. She never thought he could commit such a betrayal. She began to recall where she could have seen this girl. She seemed familiar to her. And no wonder. The girl was indeed her husband's secretary. Young, beautiful, free, without children and problems. Almost the complete opposite of her. She was beautiful too, but lately she had no time or desire to take care of herself. And it became so unpleasant when she compared herself to that girl and so ashamed of her naivety. She couldn't close her eyes all night. The conversation swirled in her head. She recalled every evening when her husband was late at work or went on business trips. Every time doubts arose in her, but she didn't want to believe them. In the morning, she decided to ask her husband directly if it was true, although everything was already clear to her. Roman didn't try to evade. After all the evidence was against him. It would be foolish on his part to deny anything. He only got indignant that his wife had looked into his phone. "I didn't expect this from you. I thought you were a wise woman and didn't do such things. My phone is my personal space. How can you violate it so shamelessly?" The last thing she wanted right now was to be wise and reasonable. She didn't even know what to reply to such a statement. And her husband calmly continued the conversation, not even thinking of apologizing. He suggested to his wife not to make a scandal, to leave everything as it is, and to live on as if nothing had happened. After all,
Give money to you and the children? I don't deny you anything. I don't want a divorce. Everything suits me this way. But you have to understand, I'm a man and I have certain male needs. Am I to blame for that? By the way, Karina, you must remember her. She works with me. Would like to meet you and the children. I'll invite her over tonight so you can talk calmly and discuss everything. Karina isn't going to take me away from the family and leave the children without a father. She's a very sweet and kind girl. You'll enjoy talking to her. I want everyone in my life to live in harmony. I don't want showdowns and hysterics. You're a wise woman, right? After these words, she wanted to hit her husband, but restrained herself. How dare he suggest such things to her? Where has it been seen that a wife and a mistress sit at the same table and chat nicely? Even in the stupidest movies, she hadn't seen such nonsense. She decided to remain silent. Her husband took her silence for consent and said he would come with his mistress in the evening. All day, the woman was on pins and needles. She really wanted to see the homewrecker and tell her everything she thought right to her face, but she didn't know if she would have the strength when she saw a woman much younger and more attractive. She was afraid of appearing confused and pathetic. Closer to evening, she still couldn't stand it and left for the other end of the city to her mother. Let her husband do whatever he wants, but without her and the children. Her mother saw that her daughter had some problems. After all, the sadness in her eyes couldn't be hidden. She tried to find out if everything was okay in the family, but her daughter was silent. She didn't want to involve anyone in her problems. She sat a little, thought in silence, and still decided to return home alone, without the children. There was no need for them to participate in such a circus. She approached the house on trembling legs, slowly climbed the stairs as if each step was difficult for her. Stopped at the door. She heard some sounds near her door. Listening closely, she realized it was crying. On the landing stood a girl who was trying to tell something through tears into the phone. She immediately understood that this was her husband's mistress, so she turned on the recorder just in case. If it came to divorce in court, any evidence of infidelity would be useful. The girl tried to speak quietly, but she heard everything well. "Mom, they're not here. I so hope to see Lena, but she hid them. I don't know what to do. I'm already so tired of these relationships. I want to break up with him. I can't leave here without my daughter. I have to take her, and I will take her. Only after that will they learn the truth. Now I need to calm down and endure all this so that no one guesses what I really need from them. Mom, they might hear me. I'll be back soon." She almost fainted from what she heard. So that's how it is. This Karina isn't hunting for a husband. She needs her daughter, the daughter she and Roman had raised for many years and loved as their own. This homewrecker wants to take the most precious thing Anna has. That won't happen. The woman pulled herself together and crossed the threshold of her apartment with a bolder step. She became more determined the moment she realized she needed to protect her child.
After all, for her children, she would fight like a furious lioness. In this battle, there was no place for cowardice and doubt, but she tried to be restrained. She even offered her rival tea, not just like that, of course, but with a specific intent. When her husband and the mistress left, she immediately hurried to find out how to preserve the cup so that DNA traces remained on it. And in the morning, she went to the clinic to submit this item for analysis, because the previous evening, while they were sitting at the table, she noticed that this girl really looked a lot like Lena. Apparently, she gave birth very early, since she herself was quite young. She even felt sorry for her, but she firmly decided she wouldn't give up her daughter under any circumstances. Karina kept asking about the children, saying how much she loved working with children, although she had none of her own. She asked to introduce them. She promised to do so, but later, secretly hoping it would never come to that. The DNA test confirmed that Karina and Lena were indeed relatives. Along with the test and the recording on the recorder, she went straight to work to her husband. Roman was very surprised to see his wife in his office. Usually, she never came to him during working hours, afraid to disturb him. Now she boldly opened the door and entered as if at home. "What happened? Where are the children? Did you leave them alone at home?" her husband asked, frightened, surprised by his wife's unexpected appearance. "The children are with Mom. By the way, I'm moving to her too. You can live peacefully with your mistress in our apartment. I won't disturb you. But first, look and listen to this." She sent him the recording of Karina's conversation with her mother on the phone and placed the document from the clinic on the table, then left, leaving her husband alone with this information. As a farewell, she said, "And keep in mind she won't see the child. I'll take care of that." After Roman listened to the recording and learned that Karina needed not him but his child, he called the girl to his office. She burst into tears, asked for help to take her daughter, but Roman didn't want to hear anything. He kicked her out of the office and fired her, saying that she wouldn't get the child under any circumstances. He didn't feel sorry for the deceiver. Moreover, his male pride was hurt and he couldn't forgive that. But she, on the contrary, felt sorry for this girl. In youth, anything can happen. She stumbled, acted wrongly, but now she's come to her senses. Can she be deprived of communication with her own daughter? She thought long and then told Lena that her biological mother had been found, asked if she would like to meet her. She decided to hide nothing from her daughter so as not to feel guilty later. "Mommy, don't give me to anyone. You're my mom. I want to always be with you," Lena replied and hugged her tightly. Now she understood that she would fight for her daughter no matter what it cost her, and her husband supported her in this opinion. When Karina filed a lawsuit trying to take the child from the adoptive parents, she was denied. The Gurin family was well off and respected, and the biological mother of Lena now didn't even have a job, since Roman immediately decided to end all relations, even work ones. The child was left with the adoptive parents also because the girl herself didn't want to leave them. After all, in the family all these years, she was very loved. She couldn't even dream of better parents. True, Roman and she preferred to keep silent in court about the fact that they were planning to divorce soon so that it wouldn't affect the decision. Karina decided to leave, although she still felt that she was right.
She didn't achieve her goals. Before leaving, she asked her to meet one last time, apologized for the deception, asked for understanding because she herself didn't know what she was doing, not thinking at all about the child's feelings, and also thanked Anna for loving Lena so much and caring for her. A little later, when Lena grows up, she might want to meet. She needs time. I won't rush her, but when she's ready for the meeting, I'll support her and won't be against it, she said as farewell, because she, like a mother, understood how hard it was for Karina now and wanted to support her. Anyone can come to their senses, and everyone needs a second chance to try to fix everything, she thought. Then the girl burst into tears from such kindness and from understanding that her child was in good hands. She probably couldn't love Lena more than this woman loved her. It seemed there was enough love and understanding for everyone, even for those who didn't deserve it. Perhaps she even still had feelings for her husband, only hidden deep in her soul under thick layers of offense and disappointment. As promised, she packed her things, took the children with her, and left for her mother's. She decided to find a job to be able to support her family independently, especially since Grandma gladly agreed to take care of the children, as she had long been retired and greatly missed her grandchildren. Work was found quickly, and the next month the first salary came. And in 6 months, she was already firmly on her feet. The children sometimes saw their dad, and on each of those days, he tried to make a real celebration for them, even forgetting about work at that time. Only now did he understand how important family is, understood that no work, no success can replace warm family relationships. He also didn't give consent to the divorce, but she was adamant. She could no longer trust her husband. What if a new, young secretary appears at work again and everything starts over? But Roman wasn't thinking about other women. One failed affair was enough for him, which led to nothing good. Now, in every young girl who looked his way, he saw a catch. He couldn't trust any of them and didn't want anyone or anything to threaten his family's peace. Roman met his wife from work almost every day with flowers, waiting under the entrance of her mother's house. But she wasn't in a hurry to forgive her husband. He'd offended her too much. But Roman still hoped to return his family's life to what it was before meeting the homewrecker. The relationship was complicated, but the parents tried to do everything so that the children didn't suffer from their quarrel. So they often had to spend time together, often recalled the past, and when nostalgia came over, she wondered if it was worth destroying everything because of one mistake. After all, they had gone through so much together, overcome so many obstacles, and it seemed Roman had become completely different. He now took more interest in his wife's life and respected her opinion. Moreover, the children loved both mom and dad equally, trying in every way to push them toward each other. She noticed this and decided to make concessions. "Well, I accept you for the job, but you'll have to try hard. We have very demanding, though small, clients. But we're accepting you on a probationary period. Keep in mind, this period can last indefinitely," she said with a serious look, seeing Roman off on the landing. "That's exactly what I was looking for," he replied, and joyfully ran down the stairs like a boy.